and welcome to KJ's Kitchen. I am KJ. I'm 14 years a master fitness trainer, a fitness nutrition specialist, and most important to me, I am a happy mom serving up healthy meals from my kitchen to yours every Wednesday here on Facebook, live on Get KJ Fit fan page. So, I want to ask you, do you buy a lot of awesome greens and vegetables with this huge anticipation of eating a salad a day or eating just more vegetables in general, and as the days pass and life is very busy, you start to see the spinach leaves start to wilt. You start to see the romaine start to brown or whatever it is you've got in your fridge. Well, that's common, and even though I practice healthy lifestyle and really implement healthy living into every area of our life, happens to us too. So, yes, I love frozen vegetables because the convenience of leaving them in the freezer, they're not gonna turn, and they are packed with nutrients. So just that's a point and tip. Always feel, I love to buy frozen if I'm not buying from the farmer's market. You're going to get more nutrition out of that frozen vegetable. Of course, organic is how we roll, and I really do stress that to people. So don't ever be shy to buy frozen. But we're talking about fresh today, and we're talking about making sure that you don't waste the food, okay? So this happened to me on the weekend. This is why I'm bringing you this recipe today. An entire box of spinach was on its turn date, and I'm showing up to family brunch. I'm super excited. My husband was away in Denmark, and me and the kids needed a home, and we found our home for Easter. And my friend was like, bring a salad, your salads are delicious. And I was like, oh, I don't think we want to eat our spinach. I'm talking a big old spinach here, right? So this entire box, not this one, this is fresh, I just bought it. This entire box was on its turn date, and I checked it out and sniffed around and was like, I don't want to serve this fresh. That was me and my choice. I needed to cook it. So, what and why might you think to cook your spinach anyway? You are going to actually get more absorption of the nutrients when you will lightly cook your spinach. You could bake it, you could saute it. Don't get me wrong, a fresh spinach is amazing, don't get me wrong. But when you do cook it, you're gonna get more of the vitamin A, vitamin E, calcium, protein, iron, potassium. You're gonna get all those awesome nutrients. You're gonna be able to absorb them more when it's slightly cooked. So not only am I gonna show you a way to no longer and ever again waste your spinach or let it wilt away, but you're also going to get the nutrients delivered better to your body by doing it this way. So we're at Easter brunch, and my friend Liz says, oh my goodness, I don't even like eggs, and this is amazing. So you're gonna see there's gonna be some eggs going on in this, but if you are not an egg lover, take it from Liz, and you might love this and love the fact that you're putting in a ton of greens into your body in a delicious way that will feel sneaky and amazing to both you and your children. So we're gonna start with the eggs themselves. I'm gonna start by having you put the oven to 375. We do wanna preheat that puppy. Get that oven preheating. Let's talk about eggs real quick. Don't know where you shop for your eggs. I would love to hear. I love to go local for anything possible. Love that summer's coming and our CSA is starting soon. But if you don't have a local farmer or even friend who has chickens, because you don't need to be a farmer to have chickens, you want to make sure you're getting pasture-raised eggs. Yes, local, I love to support local and to avoid helping out, not leaving my carbon footprint in this world, shopping local. This here is Carol's. They are pasture raised. Every chicken gets 100 square feet. They get in and out of the barn all the time. That means they're picking and pecking all around the ground and getting their full good diet, and humanely certified. This came from Trader Joe's. I'm not sure how far Carol goes, if she's, local to the South or North Carolina, but that's who we go with when we're not getting them from someone local. And guys, here's the deal. You could cut this in half. If you have a smaller family to feed, if you have smaller amount of spinach to use up, But I'm going for the dozen. I'm going for a dozen eggs over here. Whoops, dropped a shell. Things are getting messy already. You'll notice when you start using, I'm just gonna drop them on the counter and I'll clean that up later. You'll notice when you start using the pasture farmed eggs more than the non. You know, cage-free is not the same as pasture raised, just so you understand the difference. Cage-free just means they didn't put them in a cage, but it doesn't mean they have space to roam. Look how orange and bright that yolk is. You will see a difference. If you put them side by side to an egg that was not pasture raised, you would see that they're more of a yellow color instead of a dark orange. Now I will give the girl, my girl Misty, if she's watching, Misty Northam, I just got some of her eggs for the first time and I am hooked already. Hers were even brighter than these, and that just means a richer diet. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, if anyone has chickens, it might mean a different type of chicken. I mean, I would love to hear feedback. So use the comment fields, tell me what you know of eggs and the coloration. I just always notice a darker, richer color. We're almost there. I'm 8 eggs down. If you watched KJ's Kitchen before, you realize I don't prep things in advance. I want things in real time so you can cook right with me. You can hit replay on these any day once you get your ingredient list. Or you also can subscribe to my newsletter and get all of my recipes in your inbox. I'll be posting a link. I always post a link eventually depending on how the week goes. All right, there we go, dozen eggs. Boop. Doing the eggs first, guys, just makes it easier because we're gonna be using some spices and seasoning. It's easier to mix it in with liquid than it is into your spinach. We've got a whisk going on. First I beat it up a little before I start whisking to pop all those yolks. Once all the yolks are popped, we're gonna get those muscles moving in your arms. So the more you beat the egg, the fluffier it will get, but you don't necessarily have to beat it forever, as Michael Jackson would say. Don't we miss him? Okay, here we go. We've got the eggs going on. Next level is we're gonna add some healthy fats. I say healthy because it's heavy cream that is organic. If you are not familiar, all organic or grass-fed, well, I won't say all organic, but grass-fed dairy, you're talking cheese and milk, cream, whatever, it's gonna have 70 to 80 trace minerals that the non-grass-fed does not. So I also love that on the label is 2 ingredients, grade A organic cream and gellan gum. Versus going and grabbing any heavy cream, you're gonna see like 7 ingredients, like a polysorbate 80. I don't know, I don't wanna see weird chemical numbers in my food. We're gonna go with a 1/3 cup of heavy cream. Now this is going to be a spinach bake, if I shall say. So the eggs in the cream's gonna give it the richness and not let it dry out too much. Just standard eggs could get dry. We're gonna give it a nice dose of fats in there so it stays nice and moist. But it's also just gonna hold it all together. You're gonna see the end product is pretty fantastic. Easy grab and go for breakfast. If you're gonna meet friends for a brunch, or actually any meal, because this is delicious, you could be bringing this spinach bake with you instead of your salad if you're spinach churning. That's how it all went down for me. Get your measuring spoons out. We're gonna go for a teaspoon. That's all you're gonna use across the board. Spinach is very bitter, so we are gonna do a teaspoon of salt. That may sound like a lot, but this is gonna take up an entire cake pan. Teaspoon of salt. Teaspoon of garlic powder. Here we go. Get my spoon in there. Teaspoon garlic powder. Ooh. Teaspoon minced onion. Now, why am I not using regular onion? Well, I got a lot of little kids around here, and I also feel that onion's a hit and miss with people in general. So when you do the dried onion flakes, they don't see it. They're gonna taste it, but it's not gonna taste like the way an onion that they're gonna see is. They're never gonna know it's in there, especially children. And it's convenient. I love easy. We're gonna do a teaspoon of dried basil. Boop. And a teaspoon of dried parsley. Oh, did you check it out? My lid needs a washing. Okay, we'll set him aside. I think he took a little bit of my onion with him. Okay, dried parsley. I think it's the bottom of the can anyway, so it's all gonna work out. I think I had just a teaspoon in there. All right, that's it with the seasonings. Now that is going to get the season all the way throughout. If we'd have waited to mix that in at the end, it would have you'd have blobs of different flavors going on. There you go, nice and mixed. Now, before we even get the spinach going, we're gonna talk about more of a binding agent, more of a flavor agent, and who doesn't love something baked with cheese? I mean, we love pizza, we love garlic bread, we love nachos, we love cheese. Who doesn't love cheese? I like to teach mindfulness, so if you're gonna cheese, try to cheese your best. This is grass-fed sharp cheddar. Now I've done this, I only had Swiss, I had part Swiss and part cheddar when I did this for Easter, but the cheddar is awesome. So I'm just doing sharp cheddar today. You could choose just Swiss or a mix like I did, or just choose your favorite sharp. We're going grass-fed again because why? It's more nourishing. And for $3.89, it's very affordable too. And this is a little bit more than 8 ounces. You would want to think of 8 ounces for your, if you're gonna buy like block cheese, you could do 8 ounces. If you're gonna get it from the deli, request 8 ounces. And we're gonna shred this up. Yes, it works without shredding. I actually, the cheese I was using on Easter was already cut up. I had hosted a little party and I had some leftover sliced, like cubed cheese. So I was actually just cutting it with a knife. So either way you do it, you can finely chop it or you can run it through a shredder like I'm doing right now. Again, when you are talking about cheese and you go to buy a bag of shredded cheese, start reading labels. It is not just cheese in there. So not only is block cheese more affordable, because we all like to save some money, but it's also the healthier version, because a bag of shredded cheese is gonna have things like potato starch to help, or some form of agent for non-clumping. I don't know what agent means, but I don't need it in my body if I can prevent it. So we're just gonna go with real cheese. I'll take the extra, I mean, I'm almost done with this. Is an extra 15 seconds to shred my own cheese. If it takes a minute, so be it. It means more health for my family. This cheese has been out for about 30 minutes now, so it's nice and creamy even. Whew, it's amazing. I know it's a little bigger than 8 ounces, so I'm gonna save a little for my family. Woo. We'll enjoy some of that cheese when the kids get home from preschool. Nice little snack. All right, we're almost done with this guy. And feel free to pick your favorite cheese. What I recommend is that it be a sharp flavor. You don't want to put mozzarella in here. It's a very boring flavor and very, what do you say, gluey. It's definitely a different texture than a hard cheese like this. Okay, here we go. Wow, look at that pile of cheese. Okay, I'm just gonna shake the rest of this into here and get that going. Woo! All right, right into the mix. That's the deal. This is easy peasy. 1 bowl, 1 pan. You're gonna be having an easy cleanup. All right, back to my little messy counter there. That's where that's going. Next up is Parmesan. Now I love Parmesan because it packs in the punch with less volume, meaning like the flavor is so sharp and salty, it hits your palate in the same spot that salt hits your palate. I'm gonna wipe off, I think I have a little egg white on there. It hits that same spot. So spinach, like I said, even while we're adding the salt in, is not super flavorful. If anything, it's very bitter. If you ever blend it in your smoothies, you realize it takes the sweet factor down. And the same goes with salt. Like, I don't want to have sauteed spinach without salt on it. So the saltiness of this cheese is gonna bring forward the flavor of the spinach much better too. It's not gonna be too bitter for you. Okay, and now this is no direct science. I did measure it out, but it's a 1/2 cup of shredded Parmesan. So you know, eyeballing is how I roll, but I did actually put this in a cup when I was making the recipe to make sure I could share the recipe. Half cup of shredded Parmesan. Again, very different than the powdered Parmesan and very different than the shredded in a container. It may look all like fresh and ready for you, even though Parmesan shredded in a container is not a bag. But if you read the ingredients, it still has those caking agents so that it doesn't stick together. So stick with the block Parmesan as well. I'm just gonna go ahead and get a spatula to stir in this cheese. Wowie wow. So with these ingredients, you might be like, is this just a healthy quiche? Well, number one, there's no crust. And number two, quiche usually has ham. It's not totally veggie based. This is so much spinach going in here, guys. That's why I'm not even gonna call it a quiche or an egg bake. I'm calling it a spinach bake, because this is just gonna bind the spinach together, make the spinach taste amazing. Cooking the spinach makes the spinach healthier for your body to absorb, and everyone's gonna love it. So I'm setting this aside while we talk spinach. These giant containers, I'm gonna guess on the change, $3.89. It's 3 and change, around the $3.80 for this entire thing at Walmart. This is a pound of spinach. Now you can get the little smaller ones, and I did the math. The smaller ones are 5 ounces. This is 16, so the smaller one, it's $1.96. You'd have to buy 3 of them to get to this, and that would be $6. Or you can buy the giant one. That means you're gonna eat more spinach, throw more spinach in your smoothies, or get more spinach bakes going on in your life. Now I do love chopping, and please, you can feel free to chop. You wanna chop it nice and fine. To save time, I also love throwing it in the food processor. So that's what we're gonna do today. Get a good handful in there, and you're gonna take it in a couple rounds. So I just fill it up. It's a little loose, it's not packed. And we're just gonna get this puppy going. Talking about speed and ease. And get that spinach in there, because I don't want it to become emulsified. I just want it chopped. Just gonna chop it until I see that it's got some good. See, I think I put too much spinach in there, and it's okay to me to have a couple leaves. I'm just gonna drop it in pieces. So this spinach is not emulsified, okay? When you're checking it out, it is finely chopped. You can see here, so if you are chopping your spinach, you're just gonna chop it small. Now, to be honest, I did chop. I thought in my head today, oh well, if I just run it through this food processor while I'm live, it will save a lot of time. But to be honest, this is much thinner than I'd actually like. So, if you beg my pardon, and let's go back to the traditional way, I'm gonna get chopping, because it's gonna be different. If you get your spinach so forget about the food processor, guys. Real TV, real action. I thought I was gonna save some time being live with you. But the chopped spinach doesn't have all that same level of water or moisture that's coming off of it. So I'm gonna chop it, because I really want these layers of spinach to be nice and hearty. So check that off. Switching up the plan here. Again, real time, real messes. We're getting messy in KJ's kitchen today. Yeah. You know, if you've tuned in the last few segments, I've had a guest. So today I feel very lonely in my kitchen. I'm glad you're here with me. I definitely am like, where's my guest today? If you'd like to be a guest on KJ's Kitchen, I'd love to share either one of your recipes. Have you come for a visit? Please feel free to reach out. I love when I have guests. It makes it very fun for me. All right. So now look at this chop. Look at this amount of chop here. This is the fine spinach, right? Little pieces. Yeah. So we're gonna rock it like this. And because we're real time on KJ's Kitchen, we're just gonna keep chopping. It's only gonna take like two more chopfuls after this. I like to hold a big handful. If you can see what's happening, big handful, don't fall. And then I go small one direction. And I mean small, this is probably less than half of an inch. One direction, and then I just take my knife and I go the other direction, so they become tiny little squares, much smaller than bite size. This is like a third of an inch. I don't think it's as small as a quarter. There we go. And if you have a few leaf stragglers, put them on the end. Keep chopping into it. It doesn't matter if the other ones get smaller. That's okay. Here we go again. Back into the bowl. So a pound of spinach. What would you be doing with your spinach to get a pound of spinach in you? You know, there's this statistic going around that in, I want to say 1992, again, if you know this statistic, you can correct me if it was 1994, that UCLA did a study on spinach because they realized women with healthy diets who said they were eating a lot of spinach were found anemic. And they're like, well, you're eating so much spinach, how could you be anemic? So they did this study and found, and it was much more than just the iron that was deficient, but they found in 1992, 4 or 7, I'm not sure, that it was one bowl of spinach from like 1950. It would take, I don't know, 53 bowls or 43 bowls of spinach in 1990, whatever, to even get the same amount of minerals and vitamins from your spinach. Now that was back in the 90s, and now here we are in 2019. Can you imagine with that much more poison in our farming, and that means no more nourishment in our soil? Can you imagine how many bowls of spinach you'd have to eat today? So that's why I supplement. This is why I'm even partnered with a supplement company to make sure me and my family are well nourished. But it's also great when you have an opportunity to put a pound of spinach into a dish. I'm gonna just not worry about this because my bowl can't really fit. My other bowl was dirty. Welcome to my day, guys. So I am pushing this down into the egg, and it's okay because it's gonna get mixed. Pushing it down into the egg. You'd be like, what is up with KJ in her kitchen today? She's got small bowls, things flying. All right, changing up her process right here while we're live. That's how we roll with the punches. Live TV is very fun. And I'm so glad you're here with me. All right, so this is almost all mixed. The spinach itself is the base of this dish. So again, this is why I'm not calling it a quiche or a frittata or an egg bake. We're calling it a spinach bake. And if you've seen some of my KJ's Kitchen and you got a hold of that recipe of the cheesy spinach bites, this is different in flavor, and because it's going to be in a pan, it's different in the level of convenience as well. It can serve a whole crowd. Those little spinach bites, if they get too moist, you're going to taste the moisture and it's going to be hard to hold together. These are super firm. All right, we're almost there, guys. Thanks for your patience. Woo, this is looking good. All right, if you can see what I'm doing, there's no loose egg in this. This is why my friend Liz was like, I don't even like eggs, but this is amazing. There's no runny egg in this. The egg is enough egg to bind it and enough cheese to help bind it. And because we put all of the seasoning into the egg itself, the flavor is distributed. You're not gonna get bites of, just spinach or only seasoning. It's all worked together. So you're gonna use a cake pan. I like to use Pyrex. I've got myself, what is this, 13 by 9? Is that the traditional cake pan? And you could use your choice of baking or cooking oil. My choice is butter. I love the flavor of butter and eggs. So, Kerrygold, I mean, we've been talking about it all day. Kerrygold, pasture raised from Kerry in Ireland. I was blessed to be able to visit Kerry with my friend Eamon Frawley, on a trip to Dublin. We busted a move to Kerry to visit his brother Bren. It is beautiful out there. And you see all of the farms are just, it's wide open, green land. It is amazing. So we know those pasture-fed cows are taken care of. So butter, just like milk or cream, is going to have higher levels. Yes, higher levels of MCT for those of you who love your ketogenic lifestyle, but also higher levels of trace minerals. And that's important to me and my family. So I just grab it. It was firm from the fridge. I'm gonna pop it back in the fridge. and I just rubbed it around. I didn't even have to get my hands dirty, and it is a nice little layer so it doesn't stick. All right, I'm gonna give it one last turn around before I pour it in case any of the egg mixture settled to the bottom. I want it very distributed, and here goes. Oh yeah, it's awesome. Okay, so I have a spatula here to scrape the sides. No spinach leaf left behind. Anyone watch Trolls? We watch that a lot here in this home. No troll left behind. Yeah, no spinach leaf left behind. Use a little spatula. Make sure you get all your good greens out of that bowl. No need to waste. We are so a waste-free family when we can, and we recycle like nobody's business. So it is painstaking that when you go to the grocery store, you get a lot of bags. Even when you're buying a healthier version of something, it's coming in a bag or a net or a plastic netting. It pains me to put that in the trash. So whenever I see something that has like the five recycle sign on it, I'm like, yes, even though it looks just like a normal throwaway bag. Recycled. All right, there we go. You will love this. So my family, they eat this very well. My husband loves it, and my friends at Easter loved it too. That was the second round at Easter. So I've done this twice. By the second time, it was perfected with flavor. I hope you and your family love it too. You see that it's not soaked with egg. Of course, as it cooks, it will get down a little, but you got yourself a pound of spinach here. All right, it's going in the oven at 375, center rack. Center rack for 30 minutes. Get my timer set. I think my egg timer got confiscated by a child. 30 minutes. When you are finished with this, you're gonna let it sit to cool before you bring it to your friends or enjoy it. You're gonna end up with an amazing, even though it looks eggy, I promise it doesn't taste eggy. I'm gonna give it a little whirl for you right here on camera. This one had sharp cheddar with Swiss. This was the one I saved a piece. It's salty enough that spinach doesn't pull it down. And it's not eggy. That's the exciting part of all this. If this recipe served you, please share the love by sharing this to your wall. Tag a friend in the comment field who maybe is not an egg lover, but you know should try this out to try their greens, to get more greens in their body. Tag them in the comment field. I will be posting a link. It will be an active link where you can subscribe and sign up for my KJ Kitchen recipes every week to your inbox. If you've already subscribed, no need to subscribe again. I hope this recipe has served you, and I love to bring all of my practical, healthy lifestyle meals from my kitchen to yours here in KJ's Kitchen every Wednesday at 12 o'clock on Facebook. Join me again next Wednesday, and you, for today, have a wonderful Wellness Wednesday. We'll see you next week.